Um, I wanted to jump here really quickly to talk about something that maybe some people feel like is a pain point, which is finding an image for your article. You have the idea, you wrote it beautifully, you've created your table of contents all linked to the different sections, you've created the graphics to showcase what you want to share, but you still need an image as your cover photo so your website looks nice. And I've been there a million times, and unless you're a travel blogger and your images are, a picture of you in a nice, beautiful place you're traveling to, you actually need to do a bit of work to do it. And I want to show how I do it. Hi, Jen. Hi, Chris. Hi, JP. So I just want to show how I do it. But this is very impromptu and I didn't really prepare. Window, Canva. First, I'll show you what I'm talking about with my Substack. So I guess I can start by pulling up my own website. 1 second. Sorry, I'm just getting started. Okay. Recapping now that more people joined. Boom, 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 boom. Did I share my screen or did I just find it for now? I want to share that one. Chrome tab. Yes. Hello, everyone. At the moment, I'm not seeing the chat, but put your questions there. I wanted to talk about these things that populate your website. They're really important and they pull people into your articles. So if you're a travel blogger, you're going to have a picture of you in a beautiful place. But if you're talking content like skill sharing or things like that, you need to have a cover that one looks good for the topic that you're speaking about and kind of also fits with everything else on your website. And I'm not saying this is perfect. It's far from perfect. I'm a lawyer, not a designer, but I have found that if you create beautiful images for your articles, it really, really helps. Also, when you go into different categories, it's easy for people to understand what each of the articles or the videos are about. And I want to show you how to do this because once you have a template for it, you can do it in 5 minutes. So I'm going to show you what I worked on today because I think it's a really amazing trick to save you time, right? Me time is all about working smart for your Substack so you can grow and have success without having to hustle every single day and work more than you need. And, after you've written your article and you've done a really great job and you're like, oh, damn it, and now I need to have a photo. For me, it's 2 minutes, literally. And this is what I do. I'm going to give you an example of what I did today. So for my Learn Substack Fast lab, I realized that I was missing an image, and before what the Substack was showing was something weird. So I've created this one which just says Learn Substack Fast. But then I used the same template and I also created a behind the paywall image where I show that if you upgrade, and I'm not saying to upgrade to my publication or even subscribe to paid, I'm just giving you an example of what you can use these images for, is basically showing, okay, there's a paywall coming up. This is what you find behind it. Isn't that freaking genius? And now I'm going to show you how I did this. But first, I'm going to look at the live thing and see if you guys have any questions. I think, Jen, for the sizing of the image, in the Learn Substack, in the 10 tips, let me show you. Where do I have the sizing? You can Google, there's a Substack article, optimal image dimensions, this one, Jen, and you can find all the sizing there. There's a problem with this, though. Let me go to the live and share the link. So this is a support article from Substack, where you can see all the dimensions of the different images for Substack, word mark, all the different stuff. The problem with that is that even if they say, yeah, sure, it's amazing, you should, this is easy peasy, just put it in this in this size and everything will be fine, it's not going to be fine. You know why? Because Substack crops your image in many different ways. Exactly. Parts of your stuff gets cut off. That's why I created this magical Canva template. Let me show you. Now I need to share my screen with Canva. So for that, I need to stop sharing 1 second and share Canva. Okay, so this is the article I created, right? Or the article image I created in the behind the paywall. And you see it has these little guides there. Those guides basically tell me where Substack is going to cut stuff off. So when I create my article image like this one, I make sure, most times, I moved this recently because I was trying to copy it into another template. I make sure that the writing is within the first 2 lines, so basically almost a square. And the rest is kind of just filler. So on the article, it looks nice and rectangular and beautiful. And also on the website, it looks pretty nice. But when it's cropped in little thumbnails, it still looks decent. And my head is not chopped off, or the writing is chopped off, and all this stuff. And I have a template on Gumroad where you can get this. And it's also part of my premium me time premium learn Substack fast, where there's a full Canva kit with all the templates you might need to do all your work and all your imaging in Canva super fast, super easy, and not reinvent the wheel every single time. So what do? When I have an article to write and I need a template, I go to Canva, I go to my shortcuts. These are the templates in the kit that I'm selling on Gumroad or to my paid subscribers. And basically, I have a copy of my Substack article image template, which is this one. And I say, okay, what's this article about? I literally just change the title and I can have a photo. Sometimes if I'm feeling like, okay, I want to do something a bit different, what I might do is I'm like, okay, I want this background image. Or today, because I was feeling spring-like, I created a different background for my article. The whole setup is the same, but I basically just changed the background of my image to this like lilac-y something thing. And that's all I do. I change the title. I can put if it's a premium content or something like that. And in 2 minutes, I have a beautifully designed photo that has spelling mistakes only if I manually add them. Because if you've ever tried to design anything with Nano Banana, with ChatGPT, with Claude, with whatever, you know that those tools for some reason cannot combine typing with creating images. And it's so frustrating. So this is a way to do it. You see this article here behind the paywall that it's not really following the guides that I made? That's intentional because this is not the first photo in the article. Your default cover photo for your article is the first photo you add to your article. The rest are filler images that help you in whatever you're trying to show there. So for the first image, the cover image, I make sure everything that's super duper important is within the center of the image. And the rest, the filler, the air, the vibes, whatever, are outside of that spectrum. It's that easy. And I don't know if it was actually Jen. Yeah. I don't know if it was you that were saying that I, I really hate figuring out my article images. Like writing it is is difficult enough to then have to do all of this work. But the thing is, you get to do it once. Let me show you the template one that I have, just FYI. Uh, okay, this thing, can I move it or hide it? Hide it. Yes. Okay, Canva. So the templates that all my paid subscribers almost that joined my workshop used to have, and now everyone that is in Meet Premium has, is this one. It's this collection of templates here. And where is it? Substack, not wordmark, profile picture, premium kit. That's the explanations. I think it's this one. Yeah. So basically, I have this thing where I explain the mapping of the different images and how you use it. And then I give examples of how you can design your photos to fit within these guidelines, and then you drop your photos there, for example, and so on. And then the trick is to create your own. You create a copy of this template with the guides inside. You put your branding, you add your logo, you design it exactly the way you want. And then all you have to do whenever you have a new article is just basically press the three dots, say duplicate page, and change the title or change the images, things like that. And all of a sudden, do little shifts. If it looks exactly the same, your website will look a bit repetitive. Change a bit the colors, change a bit the vibe, but not too much that it looks like it's a totally different publication. And in this way, within 5 minutes, I have my cover for my image. And I'll show you another trick. Oh, I'm so generous today. Okay, let me stop sharing this one. And why can't I just change what I'm sharing? Anywho, I'll just do it the way I know. Share screen. Where should I go? I guess in a Substack thingy. I just need to go to my dashboard. Okay. Mr. Dashboard. Yeah, I can go from the dashboard. Okay. So I can take this article, for example, and edit it. Editing an article looks exactly like you're writing the article, but obviously if you've sent the email, that email is out and there's nothing to do about it, right? Wait, I think I pressed the wrong button. Sharing my screen again. Sorry. So I'm basically editing an article that I've already published. But the reason why I'm sharing this is because Jen was mentioning that she got that the first image is the default image. However, if you edit your article or when you draft it, you go into settings, this little settings thing within the article itself. It's the article settings where you choose your audience. If you put paid, you get to add a paywall wherever you want into the article, so you can hopefully generate some revenue. You can select the section you want your article to belong to. You can add tags that can organize your website into different sections. You can send a test email to see how your email looks, because there's also banners and things that get added if you've set them up properly. And you have your SEO options, which is really important to add your SEO description in such a way that websites understand how valuable your content is and what it is about to recommend traffic to it. And you have this section called social preview. So this is the default image that would be here. I've had one of my paid subscribers she was really annoyed that her about article had a really weird image. And the reason for that is that the article started with a banner, and that banner was super wide and it was getting cropped to the very center of it, which looked really awful and kind of off. So what I suggested with Elaine, and we went on a call and I showed her how to do, is to come here in settings, social preview, and change the image. How do you change the image? You just click X there and then upload a new image that you've created in Canva using the guide. So you have the stuff centered in the middle and you have your beautiful image. And the thing is, sometimes when you create emails, newsletters, and there's too many images in it, your article may be considered spam. So what I've seen really big marketing professional newsletter people here on Substack do is that they actually don't even add images to their article to begin with. They send it without, but they make sure that even though in the article itself there's no image, in the social preview there is an image, because that's going to show up on their website. So in emails, it's not like full of images or GIFs or stuff like that, but once it's on the website, it still looks nice. There's still a beautiful image there that attracts more readers. So yeah, that's a bit of what I'm doing. I'm reading a bit of the messages here. Oh, Jen wrote a lot. Thank you. I used it, but I'd say when I used it, part of my stuff was still cut off. So the first photo is the default. I thought that might be the case. Jim, you are generous today, and we are thankful. glad to hear that, Jim. Yeah, the sections correspond to kind of like separating your newsletter into different parts of it. And you can choose if all your audience goes to every single section. And when people unsubscribe or manage their subscription of your publication, they can choose, oh, I want this main one, but I don't want to hear about practical stuff or anything like that. So you give your audience more flexibility. Then if you create a lot of sections, it's going to be confusing for you, confusing for them, and so on. So it's nice to kind of keep it a bit, have 3 sections, something like that. Maybe one is more, if you have 3 topics that you speak about that don't need to be separate publications, they're kind of connected, but not really, then you can separate it in this way. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys today. Create a Canva template for your articles and then put your title or your something that might attract people's attention to that article within that template. So you basically change just the words. You have a nice image of you that you like. You change the background if you want, or just have a picture of you sitting at your desk writing. You decide how to create it, what the vibe is, and so on. And then you just change the words, the title of your publication, and all of a sudden you don't need to spend hours and hours trying to figure out, reinventing the wheel and trying to like the vibe of your website is gonna change if you're just using photos from real life, which are beautiful and candid and are great on a stream of like the Substack note stream or social media things. But on the website, it doesn't look really well. You want to have images that actually speak about whatever the topic is. So also when you share the article on the Substack feed, people can stop and just read the title in the image and be like, do I want to read this article or save it or like it, or do I want to just continue on? And also because your branding is there, your face or your avatar or whatever you're using is there, is going to create this pool of the people that recognize you. Because okay, at the beginning it's going to be tough and nobody knows you, but with time people know you, know your brand, and then they see your face, they see your kind of the design you normally use, and they stop and look, oh, what's Noemi writing about today? I don't know about favorite Substack websites, Jen. To be honest, I read articles, but I don't go on people's websites to figure it out or to kind of check it out. I've done it at the beginning when I was looking for inspiration for my website. And now I'm kind of just doing my own thing. But that's a great question to ask yourself. I have this exercise that I share with the people that join my workshops, my Canva workshops. They're a bit on a break right now because I'm on maternity leave. But basically what I say is stalk some of your favorite creators that have a nice vibe. Check out their websites. And when you find a website that you really like, look at it and take some notes. What do I like about it? Do I like that it's airy? Do I like the colors? Do I like that it's hyper realistic? Do I like that it's cartoonish? What do I like? And then that helps you to create kind of your design wish list that then will inform, thank you, that then will inform you of how you want your website to look like. And I've seen plenty of websites, super bare, super basic, getting a lot of followers and traffic and revenue. So it's not like the end of the world and the most important thing. But once you get that stuff slowly figured out, it really makes a difference because it makes it so easy for people that are already bombarded by a lot of content and notes and things and FOMO and information to get in that 3 second that they have with your article on the on the Substack river, as I call it. I don't know how it's called in reality. Substack note feed. They can see you, recognize you, and you get to meet new people because your article just goes to your subscribers, where at the beginning it could be a small group of people, maybe a couple hundreds, if you've had, if you've grown a newsletter somewhere else, or even a few thousand. But if you want to spread that idea further, you need to share your article. And when you share your article and it's just a picture that doesn't say anything, that doesn't have your brand, that doesn't recognize people, that doesn't make you recognizable, it's difficult for people to stop the scroll for you. And there's a balance. That's why you want to create something that's really you, that in those 3 seconds where people have with your note, they can decide, I want to read it or I want to move on. And that really works. It's even better than a hook, I would say. Any other questions, guys? Hi, Brian. Hi, Jim. Hi, Lyrian. JP. Chris and Chris. 2 Chris's sharing one account. And yes, I think going without or very few images when you send the newsletter is really, really smart, and just have the image attached in the settings part of this social preview part, because then your articles are easy to read, they don't look spammy, they're not full of links and images and stuff like that, and people just read the text and decide what they want to do about it. But then on your website article part of things, then you can click edit to your article and then add more images if you want, change a bit the layout. If you've discovered some spelling mistakes, which I always do, from when you send the actual newsletter, you can edit those out because now you've seen them. So at least on your website, things are looking super sharp. And then key to growing, and not just your belly when you're super pregnant, is to share your article on the Substack notes. There's two ways to do it. You can share a snippet of text from your article that then looks kind of like a quote that you're sharing, but that links to your article. The other way to do it is to share your article having this awesome article cover photo that says what your hook is, what people get out of reading that article, and that's going to attract people to read it. If you do this, I guarantee you, when I started doing this consistently and having really good titles for my articles that were reflected in the visual design of my cover photo for the article, I've gotten so many more reads than before, where the image was nice, but it wasn't really speaking to people. Now it speaks to people, it attracts new readers, and those readers become sometimes also subscribers, or sometimes even paid subscribers, even better. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you. Use templates. You don't need to reinvent the wheel with every single thing. Of course, if you're a travel blogger or kind of an artist and your post is about your art or where a place you've been, then it's going to be actually really good quality photos that are going to create that whole thing. But even then, you can create a frame around each of those images where you kind of crop the image in the center and you still have your maybe logo on the side or something to create this kind of depth to your website, create those beautiful collages that exist in some websites. There's many ways to kind of create more visual interest in your Substack home than just having very nice, good quality photos or AI generated crap, which I hate. One, they look very AI generated. Sometimes they're good because you create the same kind of style and it at least is recognizable. But to be honest, at least from my point of view, images that are totally AI generated turn me totally off. And there's never text in those images because AI generated images, the AI generators don't know how to spell. Like, they're great machines for writing, great machines for creating images, but put it together, no, impossible for now. So whenever I try to create something with AI, because I was just too lazy to go into Canva and do something, it has never worked out. It's insane. So I think take matters into your own hands, get your templates together. You can look on my website, for example, which is okay. I'm sharing a screen and then I'll show you what to do here or where to go. Can I go to website? Okay, so if you're a paid subscriber like Jim, and you're part of Me Time Premium, then in the Learn Substack Fast lab, after the paywall, Jim, you have give your Substack a makeover. This is my Canva template for all you might need for your Substack. Publication. So you can use my templates and then, of course, adapt them to yourself. DM me if you have questions, Jim. Happy to help. Then another way to get to it without having to subscribe, if you have a bunch of subscriptions and it's like overwhelming, is to go to my Substack Design Makeover. It's going to send you to Gumroad, and then you can either purchase something like just the Substack for article images or the one that has also the video guide, or you can get my full branding kit for Substack that has your word mark and your image and your logo and your profile picture and how to make it kind of, you see how mine is kind of, I dare, wait, this is the this is my profile on Gumroad. It's linked in my Substack, in the Substack designer makeover here. And then when I click there and I go to Gumroad, you get this. This is my full branding kit for Substack. That's now on discount. I don't know when this expires, but it's crazy cheap. And you get all the templates that you might need for Substack: wordmark, images, logos, custom section separators, bunch of stuff. Then you can design to match your own design aesthetic. Or you can get just the one for Substack images, or you can create your own images. And I'm pretty sure I stopped sharing my screen. There's something wrong with me. Maybe because I'm very, very braggers. Do you guys have any questions about these Substack images and how you can get it more under control? Or because I feel like covered everything and I've been speaking for half an hour, sweating over here. So I can also just drop it here. Just remember, templates are your friend. Then you get to, use your time on the actual content and promoting your article, which is the most important part. One, because a lot of your subscribers might not get to read every single article that you write. And two, because you want to share those articles in the Substack universe so you can attract more people that are interested in the things that you speak about. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, everyone who joined. I hope this was useful. It will be published on my website if you've joined midway. Yeah. And on my website, you can find the links to products if you want to check out mine. If not, just create your own. Mine helps save you time, but you can also figure it out the way I did. So no pressure there. Have an amazing Saturday. And I'll talk to you soon. Take care.